Hello and welcome once again everyone. Today's video features a full review guide of the Tier 6 premium German aircraft carrier Erich Leeuwenhoek. The complete German aircraft carrier tech tree line is now available for everyone to research in the game with update 0.9.7, and with it comes the release of the second premium German CV, Erich Leeuwenhoek, first one being the Graf Zeppelin. Normally with a full ship review I go through the ship's complete stats, looking at its strengths and weaknesses, comparing them to other ships of the same tier, and what the ship itself brings to the table before arriving at my own personal verdict. Today I'm doing it in reverse and starting with the verdict, and it's positive, and I mean extremely positive. I would almost go as far and say that the Erich Leeuwenhoek is borderline overpowered. As you all well know, I'm not a CV player. I rarely play them in fact, as many of you already realise from watching my videos and streams on Twitch, but I do realise the value of understanding how they are played and being able to adapt tactics while playing any surface-based ships to deal with their attacks as much as is humanly possible. Well, what makes the Leeuwenhoek so strong? It all boils down to one thing: speed. Not just the speed of Leeuwenhoek's aircraft, which are the fastest at Tier 6, but also the speed of the aircraft carrier itself. It's the fastest aircraft carrier in the game, capable of a whopping 37.6 knots. It's this speed on both fronts that allows Leeuwenhoek to control the battlefield, allowing you to react quickly to threats, relocating easily from flank to flank if need be, and capable of making a decisive difference in those 50-50 fights that break out all over. Just to give you an idea of what kind of impact Leeuwenhoek can have in the hands of a non-CB player, I found myself with a win rate way over 70% after roughly 30 games. I must admit I did have the added advantage of being able to test this ship in advance during the earlier testing phases, but still incredible nonetheless. I can only imagine what Erich Leeuwenhoek is capable of in the hands of a dedicated, skilled CV player. Simply stated, I can imagine this ship being extremely popular. And on that note, if this video is well received, I will be able to give away a free Erich Leeuwenhoek in a giveaway on this video. Make sure to like the video and to enter by leaving a comment in the section below, including your in-game name and the server you play on, in the format you see here on screen, and I'll draw the winner once the video is approved by Wargaming. I've been able to give away a lot of very good ships, the most recent one being the Z35, thanks to Wargaming, and the Erich Leeuwenhoek is no exception. It's extremely strong. So make sure you're subbed to the channel and enter the free giveaway. Moving on, I put up on screen the full build I'm using, so you have a better understanding of the ship's stats as I go through them. While a carrier's primary strength is in its aircraft, Erich Leeuwenhoek as a ship itself does deserve some noteworthy mentions. As I've previously stated, not only is it the fastest aircraft carrier in the game, it also sports virtually the same armor layout as its Tier 8 compatriot, Graf Zeppelin. Here you can see a simple port screenshot of its armor layout and level of armor protection in millimeters. The main Citadel armor of 100mm in itself may not be considered particularly impressive, but it is further reinforced by an additional 60mm of turtleback armor. So good luck to you trying to Citadel this carrier from close range. Erich Leeuwenhoek gets 46,400 hit points, over 3,000 more HP than the Vaser, and increased torpedo damage reduction of 16%, again compared to the Vaser's 10%, so some very noticeable improvements compared to its tech tree cousin. Now we come to the meat on the bones, with the Leeuwenhoek's aircraft. Starting with the attack aircraft, the legendary Messerschmitt Bf-109T. These are actually the stock aircraft on the Tier 8 tech tree German carrier August von Parseval, capable of firing armor-piercing rockets with a massive 184mm of penetration, compared to the Vaser's 141mm. So even when up-tiered, you will still feel competitive and be more than capable of citadelling Tier 8 cruisers. These rockets will also be very effective against the upper belts and superstructures of battleships, and even against destroyers, on which you will still get decent damage. Not comparable to HE rockets, but still enough threat to make them very wary of your presence. They do, however, get quite low hit points, at just 1420. They have a cruising speed of 157 knots, and when fully boosted, a max speed of 198 knots. They have a total of 6 aircraft per squadron, with 2 aircraft per attack flight, with 4 rockets in payload, and are capable of inflicting a max damage of 2350. They have 9 aircraft on deck and an aircraft restoration time of 68 seconds. When using Concealment Expert, these aircraft can be detected from 9 kilometers, so catching targets unaware and broadside is not uncommon. Combining the high aircraft speed to launch these fast, hard-hitting attacks and get in and out of AA range without losing too many aircraft, despite their relatively low HP. Next we come to the legendary Stuka, or Junkers 87C variant, which are used for both torpedo and dive bombing roles. Firstly, the torpedo variant. They have 1760 HP, a cruising speed of 136 knots, and a max speed of 177 knots. Again, 6 aircraft per squadron and 2 planes per attack flight, each armed with 1 torpedo, capable of inflicting a max damage of 4200. Again, more damage than the Vaser, but unlike the Vaser, they have 6 kilometers in range and a very slow speed of only 34 knots when using Aerial Torpedo Modification 1. Now, these are generally regarded to be inferior, with a very low flooding chance, but it's not impossible to land hits on all sorts of targets, including destroyers, as I've already demonstrated. Being able to rotate between all 3 sorts of attack aircraft and make each one effective will reduce the strain on individual restoration times and allow you to bring full squadrons consistently to bear on targets when required. The dive bomber variant of the Stuka are particularly dangerous, again with relatively low hit points of 1957. They have a cruising speed of 160 knots, and when fully boosted, a max speed of 201 knots. Like both previous sorts, have 6 aircraft per squadron with 2 planes per attack group, each armed with 1 high explosive bomb, capable of inflicting a massive max damage of 12,200, with 68mm of armor penetration and a 69% fire chance. Again, like all other types, they have 9 aircraft on deck and an aircraft restoration time of 80 seconds. The drop reticule is a smaller perfect circle, making accurate drops very possible and capable of HE citadelling not only cruisers like Emerald and Hawkins, but also battleships like the Piotr Veliki and the Ismail. Unlike the Graf Zeppelin, don't expect the Erich Leeuwenhoek secondaries to be as good. With 10 105mm guns and 16 150mm guns in total, they have a base firing range of 5 kilometers. And when you totally max these out, one can achieve a max firing range of just over 7.5 kilometers. Erich Leeuwenhoek gets an AA defense rating of 57 with 40 AA guns in total, ranging from 20mm up to 150mm. Again, very similar to the Vaisar, but with weaker continuous damage of just 181 average damage per second. 4 flak explosions per salvo, with a max damage of 1260 and a max firing range of 5.2 kilometers. Despite being the fastest carrier in the game with a max speed of 37.6 knots, Erich Leeuwenhoek does pay a price in terms of a large turning circle radius of 1140 meters and quite a sluggish rudder time shift of 12.7 seconds. Finally, stats-wise, Leeuwenhoek gets a concealment rating of 50, using Concealment Expert, meaning you will be surface detected at 11.8 kilometers and from the air at 9.8 kilometers. To sum up, Leeuwenhoek feels very good indeed, with the second highest HP pool for a Tier 6 carrier, just behind the British Navy's Ark Royal. It's the fastest aircraft carrier in the game, the fastest planes at Tier 6, and armor-piercing rockets and HE bombs that hit like a proverbial truck, being some of the literal high points. It's not all roses, of course, with relatively poor AA, small plane reserves, and planes with low HP pools. Very slow torpedoes, with the lowest blooding chance in the game, but the total sum of its parts is a very strong package indeed. I hope you all enjoyed the video. Make sure to enter the giveaway and feel free to come on over anytime to Twitch and say hi on stream. I'd like to thank you once again all for watching. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe for more. Take a moment to check out some of my most recent videos and leave a comment below. And until the next time, keep sailing it like you stole it.